DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin, balloverseas.com, overseas basketball blueprint. Just had something cross my mind a moment ago, so I made this video here. I mean, you see the title for why there are a lot of players who may be even playing professional basketball, or they're thinking about playing, or they tell you that they're playing, and they're trying to explain to you players out there how to play overseas basketball, but they can't quite do it. It's not quite landing with you. Now, before I get into this, wherever you're watching this, if you're watching on YouTube, like the video, leave a comment, let me know you're getting value from this, subscribe to the channel, all those normal things. If you listen to this on the podcast app, leave a review so all the other players out there know that this is the place to get the information. I am the plug with the info for you to get on. I'm gonna explain to you why. So the reason that this topic even came up is I was on YouTube, and I was looking up overseas videos, just looking at and seeing my stuff coming up where it's supposed to come up. And of course, there's a bunch of people talking about overseas basketball these days. When I first started talking about how to play basketball overseas, probably it's 2020, I'm recording this, so 7 years ago when I first started talking about this, nobody else is really talking about it. A lot of people who are YouTube hoopers, as they say, or at least in the early days of it, a lot of people were claiming that they played overseas when they didn't play overseas. But nowadays we got people who do actually play overseas. They're talking about playing basketball overseas. And the challenge is, and this is something I talk about all the time, just coming from a sports background, is that just because somebody has done something, they have done something successfully, doesn't mean that they're capable of explaining it. And this is a huge thing that everybody needs to understand just in life in general. Now, for you out there, if you're a basketball player trying to get on, trying to play overseas, and somebody who's playing overseas already is telling you, hey, here's how you do it. Listen, if I was you, I would listen to them too. I mean, listen, I'll take in information from anybody. If I'm not in the game and there's 100 guys in the game, I'll listen to all 100 and at least hear what they got to say. I get it. But what I want to help all of you understand, you ball players who are trying to get on, understand, and even the players who are on and you're out there putting information out there, or what you think is information out there about how to play basketball overseas, is that if you're going to spread the knowledge, make sure you're spreading the shit right. Make sure you're giving people actual, accurate information, and make sure you know what the hell you're talking about. And this is the key that I want everybody to get off top. Just because you've done something doesn't mean you can explain it. I mean, how many basketball players do you see retire, like NBA players, and then they try to become coaches and they suck? Or they try to get in the front office and they're just not good at it. Now, just because you did something doesn't mean you can teach other people to do it. Listen, I played basketball, built myself up from zero, starting at age 14, walked on it at a D3, didn't play high school but 1 year, didn't even play my last year in college, and had a 9-year career. But I didn't become a trainer, even though I could train. It's just not my thing. It's not my passion. It's not really what I'm into. What I'm into is intellectual property, which is taking the knowledge out of my head, articulating it, and explaining it to other people. That's what I do as a full-time business. It's not all talking basketball, but in other areas as well. The entire brand and business that I built called Work on Your Game. The thing is, I was watching a video today. I don't know this gentleman. I'm not even going to say his name because I'm not trying to bash the guy. Actually, I don't even know what. He didn't have his name on the video. It just had like a name of a company or some kind of name he made up. And he was saying some things about overseas basketball that were actually incorrect. One of the things that he said was, actually, I think it was like 3 or 4 things that he said was incorrect. Then there was another gentleman, I'm watching his video, and both of these guys are players who play overseas, all right? And there's a bunch of dudes who play overseas. So if you're watching this and you think I'm talking about you, shit, maybe I am, but maybe I'm not, all right? And it might be more than one person who fits these descriptions. The shoe might fit more than one person. There's one gentleman, he was saying the level of college that you play at doesn't matter because the overseas teams, they don't know the difference between this college and a D1 and D3, and so it doesn't matter. If you can play, you can play. That is bullshit. That is 100% incorrect information. That is not true. College professional basketball teams, all right, you think that they're stupid just because they don't speak English or because they're not from America? They know exactly what the fuck is going on in college basketball in America. They know the difference between a D1 and a D3. They know it probably better than you know it. Right? They know the difference. They know what a D3 player's pedigree is. They know what a D1 player's pedigree is. And that 100% matters whether or not you get an opportunity or not, especially when you're a rookie. When you're first trying to get in the game, they are looking at what level did you play at? Where'd you play at before this? So once you're in the game and you got some overseas experience under your belt, cool. Now they know that, and they'll just look at what you did at your last gig. And they'll still look at what you did before that. just to see, all right, does this person have the potential to get better, or where's this person coming from? So despite what you did at your first job overseas, if you played at a D1, if you weren't that great at your first job, maybe you just weren't in the right situation, and you can get another one just based off of your pedigree. It's the same way that you see a player who gets drafted in the top 10 in the NBA lottery, but then they're kind of a bust their first couple years of the first team. Another team will get them a gig, then another team, and they'll keep getting chances. Why is this? Because they were a top 10 pick. I mean, they got to have some talent, and otherwise they wouldn't have been a top 10 pick. Whereas a player who is undrafted and they're a bust at their first job in the NBA, they might not get a second chance simply because, well, look where he came from. Maybe he's just not that good anyway, so that's why he doesn't get a chance. So does it matter what college you play at when it comes to your professional basketball career at the beginning and later in your career? Absolutely it does. So if somebody tells you that it doesn't matter, trust me, it matters. Even though, listen, you're listening to a person who played at a D3, didn't even play my last year at the D3, played out of position at that D3, and still was able to get on overseas. I was able to overcome my lack of college pedigree by going to an exposure camp, performing at that camp, connecting with an agent based on my performance at the camp, not based on my college performance, but on my camp performance. And then I got my job from there, and then I got my next job off of that job, next job off of that job, et cetera, and then went to more camps after that. So that's how my career was built. Which leads to the second thing I heard this gentleman said. He said, I've never seen anybody get a job playing basketball overseas from going to an exposure camp. Well, hello. I got a job from going to an exposure camp. I have one teammate who played at the same D3 that I played at. We're the only two guys from our school ever to play overseas. Both of us got our jobs because we went to an exposure camp, got our performance and our footage from that camp, and then worked that credibility or that collateral from the camp to get ourselves a gig overseas, both of us. So if nobody's ever met, if you watching this have never met anybody who got a gig overseas from going to an exposure camp, now you have. I'm one of those people. I've been to camps, other camps outside of the first one that I went to where I didn't play that well, but I saw other dudes getting gigs. I saw dudes, like, listen to what I'm telling you. I went to exposure camps where teammates of mine at the camp, dudes I didn't know, but I just met them at the camp, they played good, and teams who were at the camp watching pulled them dudes aside and negotiated contracts with them right the fuck in front of me to get them gigs to play overseas in front of me off of playing good at the exposure camp. I saw this happen with my own eyes. Now, if you think I have any reason to lie to you, look, I don't run an exposure camp. I'm not trying to sell you an app. I'm not trying to sign you to my agency. I have nothing to get off of you. All right, all I do, this is all I've been doing for the last 15 years online. Written content, video content, audio content, products, services, books, etc. All I do is give people the game. All right, that's all I do. I have nothing to gain from you believing me or not believing me. I have no reason to deceive you. I've seen players get gigs at exposure camps on the spot, sign contracts. I've seen players go to exposure camps, do their thing, get the footage, get the scouting report, and get a gig later. I was one of those players. So I've seen this dude say, I've never seen anybody get a gig at an exposure camp. That's bullshit. Maybe you ain't been to enough exposure camps. I've seen players get gigs at camps because I've been to the camps. I've been in the camps. And I'm one of the, I guess you could call me a success story of going to an exposure camp. I got gigs other ways as well, but that has absolutely happened. And there was something else he said that is escaping me right now, but I'll come back to that in a minute. And then I was watching another video, another gentleman, and there's a lot of people talking overseas ball these days. So if you think I'm talking about you again, I might be, but I might be talking about you and 10 other people who are doing the same thing. And they were talking about, the things that you need to do if you want to play basketball overseas. And this leads to the bigger point that I'm making here in this video, that a lot of players who have gigs playing overseas, when they got out of college, they signed with an agency. And then that agency helped them get their job overseas. Then they start doing their thing. And then they feel like, oh, I'm playing overseas. Look, making YouTube videos is free. Let me slap up some videos and talk about how to play basketball overseas. I'll get myself some free attention. I can inspire and motivate the players out there and tell them how they can make it. If any of y'all want some help on how to play overseas, hit me up. I'll tell you how to make it happen. Listen, I'm not telling them that they're wrong to do that. If you want to help people out, or if you think you're capable of helping people out, sure, go ahead and do what you got to do. But understand something, the majority of you players, here's what I understand about the majority of you players watching this video. Most of you are not going to have an agent vying for your services when you graduate from college. Many of you, the college ship has already sailed, it's already left the marina. All right, you ain't even got that opportunity. You don't have an agent trying to sign you to their agency so they can get you a deal overseas. Listen, if it was that easy, then the majority of these videos about playing basketball overseas wouldn't exist, because all of us would just get an agent would sign with us, or we would sign with the agent, and then the agent would get us a deal. We wouldn't even need these videos, right? You wouldn't even need these books, like the one that I got right here that I'll tell you about in a minute. There'd be no need for them, because you already got an agent, you good. And so everything's already set up. But since the majority of players, the majority of us, because I was one of these players, don't have an agent putting us on, I see videos, people are like, all right, you want to play basketball overseas, step one, get an agent. Well, motherfucker, if it was that easy, then I wouldn't need to be watching your fucking YouTube videos. That's the whole point, is that you might not have an agent. You might need to go do these other things. You might need to go take these other steps. You might need to go to an exposure camp, and you might need to figure out a way that you can hustle your way into the game. And this is where somebody like myself comes in, where I'm explaining to you players who I know what it feels like to be where you're at. I didn't have a D1 scholarship. I didn't have a D2 scholarship. I didn't make an All-American or even All-Conference or none of that, but I still had to do what I needed to do and make it happen. That's why I'm qualified to talk about what I'm talking about, because I know what it feels like to be at the end, and I know what it feels like to be at the front. Where many of the players who are telling you how to play basketball overseas, or at least they think they're telling you how to play basketball overseas, have no idea what it feels like to be at the position that you're in right now, but they're telling you, oh, well, just go get an agent, step one. All right, now step two. Wait a minute, but let's not glaze over step one so quick. Because if it was that easy, we wouldn't be watching your YouTube video. We don't need a YouTube video if it was that simple. So to get an agent, I did a couple videos on that already, or a couple episodes wherever you happen to be listening to this. So make sure you go and get that information. The other things is, and this is something that I said, and this is more of an ego thing, I'll be honest with you all, is that a lot of the material, and I tell people this all the time, most of the material that you see online about how to play basketball overseas is my shit. All right, that's my material. I done said the shit 7 years ago. Now somebody went and heard it, regurgitated it, and then slapped up a YouTube video repeating the shit that I've been said 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago. And it's all good. Listen, information is free. I'm not claiming copyright. I'm not about to sue you or nothing like that. But all this stuff you hear people talking about, I've been said this stuff. They just regurgitating what I said, and they don't even have the experiences to even be saying it, because look, you ain't even been through that. You ain't even been in that situation to be talking about what you're talking about. And some of these people are just fly by night. They throw up a couple and then they disappear. And some of them are, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know. I don't really follow people around like that, but I just happen to see these because the overseas basketball, information world is a super duper small world. Listen, I am the plug when it comes to information playing basketball overseas. And I say that humbly, but I also say it in an arrogant, cocky way, simply because I created this market. All right, nobody, when I came out of college in 2004, was talking about how to play basketball overseas. Nobody. There were no blogs. YouTube didn't even exist. There was no social media. Nobody was talking about it. I created this market. And I'm not saying that I'm going to be the only person ever to talk about it. Hopefully, some people come along who are hooping right now who can explain these things and even take it to another level and another level and another level. Hopefully, there's somebody out there. Maybe they're already doing it and I just don't know about them. Maybe it's somebody who's already out there and they just haven't, really started focusing on it yet. But I want to look out for you players who are looking to get on. That I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you the real of it. I'm going to tell you, what exactly is required of you, what you've heard from other people that's some bullshit. And there was another thing I heard another player say, another video maker say, assuming that he's a player. He was saying, don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it. Don't let anybody tell you how hard it is or that, it's not going to be possible. You could do it if you just, believe in yourself. And, he was saying how he didn't have great stats, but that he was able to make it happen anyway. Listen, that's some bullshit. I'm telling you right now that everybody ain't going to do it. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much you believe. I don't care how motivated you are. I don't care how many, motivational hype up videos you watched. Kobe Bryant's work ethic to get you hyped up to play basketball. You still got to perform. You got to do it on the court. I don't give a damn what service you signed up for, who your agent is. Nowadays they got apps. People got apps. So they claim that you sign up for this app, you're going to get a job overseas. Listen, this is a performance-based business. This is not a motivation-based business. It's not a belief-based business. It is not a YouTube video-based business. This is a performance-based business. How you get in is based on performing. And whether you stay in or not is based on performance. So all this hype up bullshit that you've been hearing from some people who claim to be helping you out, and you're thankful, right? You players, you're thankful, like, yeah, thank you for giving me that, motivation. Thank you for letting me know that I can do it. Listen, when somebody tells you in a YouTube video or in a response to a comment or in a DM about how you can make it if you just believe and don't listen to anybody telling you that you can, if you're just excited and motivated, and here's 3 examples of people who started playing when they were 18, when they came from Africa, and then they made it to the NBA. Listen, that ain't got shit to do with you and your situation, and that ain't gonna get you a job in the professional world. All right, jobs in the professional world ain't Disney movies, okay? You gotta go out here and actually fucking earn it. And I'm the person who will tell you that to your face. Whereas a lot of your favorite motivators or inspirers or whatever the hell these people want to call themselves will tell you what you want to hear, and it makes you feel good, and it makes you like them, and it makes you keep listening to what they got to say. But listen, their advice is running you straight into a brick fucking wall. I can show you the receipts of people who've listened to what I've shared who actually got on. People who actually played in the G League, people who play in the Euro League, people who play in the NBA, people who play in professional basketball, college basketball, started businesses from the philosophies of things that I've been teaching over the last 15 years on and off the court. Whereas these people tell you things to make you feel good, and there's all these rainbows and butterflies, but is it actually producing a result? That's a question that I can't answer, but you can answer it for yourself. So all that being said, here's the only thing I'm going to offer you, okay? And I ain't even getting nothing out of you from this. This book right here called The Overseas Basketball Blueprint. Listen to this. I used to sell this book on Amazon for $49.95. That's an absolute fact. I don't know if you can look up archives on Amazon, but this book has sold on Amazon for $49.95. I'm not selling it for any price right now. I'm giving you this book for free. I'm giving you the book for free. All you do is cover a small shipping charge. This book is 273 pages, 240 pages, 237. No, 230, not 73, 37. 237 pages. All you do is cover a small shipping charge. I will ship this book to you worldwide, anywhere you live. I'm not even going to charge you for the book. Why I'm not charging you for the book? Listen, I'm not in the overseas basketball business. I am not an agent. I do not own a professional team. I do not run an academy. I do not get kickbacks from agents if you get a deal or none of that. I don't make any money off overseas basketball at all in any way, shape, or form. Only thing I'm offering you is this book that has the information in it for you to know what to do to play ball, assuming that you can play. All right. Now, if you need to learn how to play, I got a training program site called hoophandbook.com. I've had that website for 12 plus years. We've processed tens of thousands of orders on that site. If you need to learn how to play basketball, go to hoophandbook.com. If you already know how to play and you want to play pro, this book will give you the steps that you need to take and the information that you need to know about playing basketball overseas. Now, we created a bundle with 3 other books if you want to know any more details about the overseas game. I got a book about exposure camps right here called The Truth About Exposure Camps. We wrote a book about basketball agents. You want to learn how agents think, why they do what they do, what decisions they make. I already gave you like 8 videos on agents, but if you want more information, we got in this book right here. And if you want to know the business side of the game, this is called Overseas Basketball Secrets. We'll give you that in this book right here. You get all 4 if you want. We call that the Overseas Blueprint Bundle. You get the whole bundle if you want. We'll make you an offer for that. But if you don't want the other 3, it's all good. All you got to do is cover the shipping. I will still send you this book for free. Listen, I'm just trying to give y'all the game. I have nothing to gain from you. When I was trying to come out of college, or when I came out of college and I was trying to get on overseas, I didn't have no money. All right, so I couldn't sign up for no fucking course. I couldn't sign up for your 8-week mastermind or none of this shit that anybody's trying to sell you these days. I couldn't pay $300 a month for access to your fucking job database or any of this bullshit that any of these people is trying to sell y'all. And the shit is annoying when I see people out here trying to do it because they trying to hustle y'all. They trying to basically play off your dreams, and they trying to basically take advantage of the fact that you got this dream and you're desperate and you're trying to play ball and you don't want to be working at the fucking grocery store. And I'm not saying that to demean you. I worked at a grocery store when I was trying to get on. So they trying to take that and you leverage it against you, and this shit works. Okay, I'm not hating the game. I'm just pointing out that this is what some of the players are doing. They're leveraging that against you and then trying to sell you some shit that ain't got nothing to do with what you actually need to play basketball overseas. The only thing you need is the information that's in this book right here and some game. Now, those are the only 2 things that you need. Everything else that you hear is details and extra, and most of the material that you're hearing from people telling you, oh, here's how to play overseas or here's the steps you need to take to play overseas, is all covered in this book. And most of these motherfuckers that either read this book or they watched all my videos and they go regurgitate the shit that I said. And I ain't even hating on it. I ain't even mad at y'all. All right, you overseas basketball influencers or up and coming influencers regurgitating my shit. I ain't mad at you. All right, don't come at me. Don't leave comments on this video or nothing like that. It's all good. If there's a way to copyright information, I'd be richer than motherfucking who's the dude who owns Amazon? Jeff Bezos. I'd be richer than him right now if you could copyright information. I got a lot of sons in the game right now on the internet. But all that being said, I ain't mad at y'all. This is all part of the game. Somebody's gonna take one day. I'm gonna be gone. All of us are gonna be gone one day. And somebody's gonna take all the stuff that we talked about. At least any of y'all who got something of substance to say, they're gonna take what we said and they're gonna build on it. And then people gonna take that and they're gonna build on it. And this is how the whole tide rises. The whole game comes up. So I'm happy about it. It's all part of the game. But I'm letting you players know who are trying to get in the game, not the video makers, not the influencers, not the guys already on overseas. The players who are trying to get on, this is what it is. This is the only thing that you need to know. Do not buy into any of the bullshit that you've been hearing from any of the people out there. Who knows who any of these motherfuckers actually is? We don't know, all right? But if you don't believe me, I don't even know what to tell you. If you got a question for me, you can send me an email direct, dre@dreallday.com. You can leave a comment on this video. Look me up. I'm everywhere on the internet. I'm the easiest dude to find online. Check my receipts, all right? Judge me on what I've done. Look at my background. Look at the people who've come up under my material over the last 15 years online. It ain't nothing in question here, all right? Nothing's on trial here. All that being said, work on your game. Dre all day.